the brutal truth about disciplined Machiavellian strategy for real power. You have been deceived. Since the first time you learned to walk, you were told a lie. That discipline was simply about willpower, that it was about trying harder when you felt lazy, that if you woke up early, made a list, and stayed positive, everything would fall into place. But the truth is brutal. Discipline is not about random effort. It is not about waking up feeling magically motivated every day. Discipline is war, internal war. And in this war, either you govern your mind like a prince governs his army, or you will be crushed by your own weaknesses. Most people live like decaying cities, invaded by impulses, sabotaged by their own disorder, easy victims to the first temptation that appears. They don't realize that without strategic discipline, there is no freedom, no strength, no victory. Those who fail to impose order on themselves will be enslaved by chaos for the rest of their lives. Niccolo Machiavelli, one of the most misunderstood thinkers in history, knew this better than anyone. While others talked about positivity and self-belief, Machiavelli stared into the cold face of human nature, and he saw the world for what it was. He knew the world does not reward the well-intentioned, it rewards the disciplined. It rewards those who, even under pressure, even surrounded by disorder, even when the walls are collapsing, can maintain control. For Machiavelli, discipline was not a virtue. It was not a lifestyle choice. It was a matter of survival. Without it, the king and the peasant alike would fall into ruin. And here is the cruelest truth of all. The moment you fail to govern yourself, you hand over the keys to your destiny, to your fears, to your laziness, to your worst impulses. Life, like a throne, is never empty. Either you occupy it with absolute dominion, or you will be governed. If you think discipline is about waking up early only on the days you feel like it, forget it. If you think that wanting it bad enough will save you, forget it. This message is not for those who seek comfort. It is for those ready to take on brutal responsibility, to forge themselves like a blacksmith forges a sword, with heat, with hammer, with relentless pressure. Discipline requires constant vigilance, strategic planning, relentless self-control. It demands that you build an internal fortress where luck has no power, where chaos finds no gaps. Today, you will understand why Machiavelli treated discipline as a state secret, as a non-negotiable foundation of power. Because if you have the courage to apply this, you will never be the same again. When we view discipline through a Machiavellian lens, we must abandon the childish myths of willpower based on motivation. Machiavelli understood, discipline is structure, it is strategy, it is survival. Without it, even the greatest men are prey. In The Prince, Machiavelli wrote, "For just as the good order of the militia is the origin of good order in the state, so too is discipline the origin of personal survival." He made it clear, no city, no army, no man endures without internal order. There is no real conquest for those enslaved to their impulses. There is no real authority for those who cannot govern themselves. Machiavelli saw human beings as inherently vulnerable to desire, to pride, to fear. Only through relentless vigilance can one resist this internal rot. Imagine an army without training. No discipline, no strategy, no loyalty to commands. What do you see? Slaughter, collapse, an inevitable massacre. And this is exactly what happens inside your mind without discipline. If your mind is like an undisciplined army, no goal you set will matter. You will sabotage yourself before the battle even begins. For Machiavelli, a small but disciplined force was stronger than a large but chaotic army. A few trained thoughts are mightier than 1,000 undisciplined desires. Commanding tone. Now ask yourself, how many times have you failed? Not for lack of talent, but because you lacked control. How many times did you break your own promises? Not because you were weak, but because you surrendered in the small battles. You lost because you lacked military discipline in your mind. You lost because you let comfort and excuses rule over action. Victory belongs to those who do not retreat, to those who act even when the body aches, even when the soul falters. Because winning is not about feelings, it is about order. The modern world glorifies emotion and mocks discipline, and that is why most live defeated. But Machiavelli knew, in the battlefield of existence, lack of discipline is a death sentence. And if discipline builds virtue, the internal strength that bends fortune to your will, then we must understand the true enemy. Fortuna. Luck. Machiavelli compared fortune to a violent flood, blind, brutal, merciless. It destroys everything built on weak foundations. If you do not build your defenses while the skies are clear, you will drown when the storm comes. Virtue is not virtue in the moral sense. Virtue is force, it is adaptability, it is mental strength made visible through action. Those who cultivate virtue do not wait for fortune, they conquer it. Luck is not your ally, it is a weapon, and without discipline it will destroy you. Now, the question is, how do you build discipline not as a concept but as reality? The method is brutal, but it is effective. Constant vigilance. Inspect your thoughts daily. Relentlessly identify weaknesses. Attack them before they spread. Clear strategy. Establish non-negotiable routines. Remove the need for daily decisions. Follow your structure like a soldier follows orders. Relentless reinforcement. Real consequences for every failure. No forgiveness for laziness, no reward for mediocrity. Discipline is not born of comfort, it is born of confrontation. Discipline is not a habit, it is a command. And if you hesitate, if you wait for motivation, if you wait for the right time, you're already losing. You are either the prince of your own mind, or you are the prisoner of your weakness. There is no middle ground. Govern yourself with relentless discipline, or be governed by your impulses, your fears, and your failures. The war is within, win it or be conquered.